So welcome back, everyone. Today I want to share with you a two-part video. The first part is going to be sharing with you some items that I found while I was thrifting at Savers, and there's not very many here, but I thought they were worth sharing for sure. And then we're also going to do a Dollar Tree DIY using pieces out of this thrift haul. So the first thing that I want to start with is I was at Savers and I found this really cute, adorable glass pumpkin. And this thing, and it has the opening in the back where you can put a candle in, and you can put a pretty generous candle in here. You could put certainly a large votive and of course a tea light. You could do real flame or you could do flameless, but this is very, very weighty. And the top of it has a really thick, very thick stem. So I think that this was probably a piece that I would say certainly probably cost a decent amount of money, new. I know Pottery Barn sells some that are clear like this, but I don't know if perhaps maybe this was one that they sold at one time that was colored. I'm just not really sure, but it does have an opening at the top as well, and it's this really pretty sort of amber color, honestly. It's not even 100% of an orange. It's really more of like an amber. And then it has the opening in the back. And I got this for $3.99. And I brought it home and I cleaned it. And I think it looks really beautiful. When I picked it up, it was a big dusty mess, but maybe that's why, you know, it was overlooked, as someone couldn't see the forest through the trees and realized that once you cleaned it up, it was going to be really pretty and very, very beautiful. So I wanted to share this with you first because I absolutely love this. And then I recently, probably about, I don't know, 3 months ago or so, I have always had several Apothecary jars. I have lots of them. But I had a pair, this pair actually, identical pair. And about 3 months ago, we donated a bunch of stuff. And as I was going through the boxes in the basement, there was one box that I said to my husband, I'm 100% certain I don't want anything that's in that box. I said, so just we're going to donate that whole box. Well, in that box were my 2 Apothecary jars. So the other day I was looking for them because I'm getting ready to start decorating for fall in, you know, like the next several weeks, sometime in September, probably the mid part of September or so. And so I mentioned to him, I go, where on earth are those Apothecary jars? Have you seen those anywhere? Because we have one big shelf in our basement where I keep all my glassware. It's just lined up there. All my glass vases, all my Apothecary jars, all of my candle hurricanes, they're all on this shelf. And so it's a big tall wire rack. And so I said, they're not there. I know I wouldn't have packed them away because I like them all to be readily available and I know exactly where to go to get them, and they're not there. And he said, I wonder if they were in that box that you donated. And I said, I would bet that they probably were. And I don't know how they ended up there, other than maybe I was moving something out of the way and set them in there. I don't know. But anyway, the point to that story was that I was at Savers yesterday, and on the very bottom shelf behind this giant toaster oven box, I happened to be going down the side aisle because it was on an end cap. I was going down the side aisle and I kind of glanced and I saw just the bottom half of the jar. And I thought, that kind of looks like an Apothecary jar. They had the lid turned like this, and it wasn't taped or anything. So all you could see was the bottom half, and you couldn't even tell that it had a lid. So when I kind of stuck my head under there, I thought, oh, it is, but it doesn't have a lid. And then I thought, you know what? pull it out of there and see. So I did, and I noticed that the lid was turned inside of the jar. So I thought, oh my goodness, what a score. And I looked at the bottom, and it was $3.99 also. So it was dirty. It was all dusty and dirty. And so I put that in my cart, and I looked back down again, and I was like, I think there might be another one. So I dug back behind that box, and of course the lid was turned inside, and there was the second one. So I got my Apothecary Jars back. I'm certain these are not them, because it's been several months since we donated to Savers. But you never know. They were stuck on a very bottom shelf, tucked way behind a very unappealing toaster oven box, where I'm certain, most people probably weren't even really looking. And had I not seen, and had I not been such a connoisseur of apothecary jars, and I know what the bottoms of them look like, I probably wouldn't have noticed that either. But I walked by and I thought, that definitely represents an apothecary jar. And it was. So I was so excited to find these. $3.99 for each of these, and $3.99 for this pumpkin. So it was kind of just like all a blessing. $3.99 each one of them, and I got my 2 jars back. So I wanted to share these with you because they're absolutely gorgeous. And of course, with apothecary jars, the possibilities are endless. I mean, they're everyday use, they're seasonal use, they're holiday use, they're everything you can possibly imagine, a million different ways that you can use them. So what we're going to do today is, the second part of this video is, I'm going to share with you how I'm going to use these. We're going to put a DIY together, and then in a later video, when I get ready to decorate my mantle for fall, these are going to be on my mantle. So what we create together here today is what will go inside of these, and then at a later date when I decorate, I will show you how they look on my mantle with our Dollar Tree DIY items inside. So I'm going to get those items, and we're going to work on filling our apothecary jars. Okay, so you know how you will oftentimes see, especially at like a high-end store or like a boutique store, they will have these beautiful fillers, these beautiful mixes, and you can buy a box. They're usually in a clear box, or they sell them sometimes at Pier 1. I know Pottery Barn sells them, Crate and Barrel, and then some of your even more like high-end boutique stores. I can tell you, one time at Christmas, I went to Nordstrom and I paid $80 for a box about this big of this gorgeous filler to go in an apothecary jar. In retrospect, I was crazy, but I would never pay that much money for that today. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to show you a really inexpensive way that you can create a beautiful autumn mix to go inside of an apothecary jar or any sort of clear vessel that you want. And we're going to use items from the Dollar Tree to do that. So I went to the Dollar Tree and I spent $6.38. And the first thing that you're going to want to buy is a bag of this Luminescence Apple Cinnamon Potpourri. Now, I don't set potpourri out in my house, like just in bowls and stuff like that. I did the $80 box, I won't lie. That one I did because it smelled really good and I spent $80 for it, so I was going to get my use out of it even after Christmas. So, but what you want to do is, I always pass these by. I see them and I think, I'm not really into that. But if you look deep down inside of these little packages, see that little like sort of spiky looking ball there? These packages are filled with nuts, and they're filled with little petals and those little spiky things, and all sorts of little goodies are inside of these bags. Well, inside of these bags are typically what I call ingredients for those beautiful mixes that you pay tons of money for. So we're going to pick up an apple cinnamon, a red, And then I picked up one of the vanilla. Now look at this. This has these big sort of nut halves and different pieces inside. So together, this is going to be the main ingredient for our mix, is a little bit out of each of these bags. Then, I don't like to fill, unless you're going to do a whole jar full of pine cones, you want to find really small pine cones that are the type that are on these little stems here. You just want to find the real small, but you don't want them to be so tiny that they just fall into the mix, pardon me, and you don't really see them. So I picked up I picked up 2 bushels that's going to provide us with 6 small little acorns. And they're not acorns, they're pine cones. 6 little pine cones off of here. And then if you wanted to be really resourceful, I mean, you could utilize the remains for something else. But I wanted the pine cones off of here. You can buy bags at Hobby Lobby and things like that of the little miniature pine cones, and you can also buy bags of large pine cones. What we're looking for is that in between perfect little sweet spot of a medium to extremely small pine cone, and that's why I picked these up. Then I picked up 1 bushel of the pomegranate stems, and then I picked up 1 small bag of the decorative acorns here. So $6.38, and I picked up all of this, and we're going to create a boutique style autumn mix for each of our apothecary jars. The other thing that you're going to want are, I'm using 2 baggies, large freezer bags, because I want to do kind of equal parts because I have 2 jars. So I want to put 3 pine cones in one, 3 in the other. You'll get the gist of it. But I want it to be sort of an equivalent measure of all of our ingredients. So you're going to want some sort of a bag, even if you do just 1, because you want to toss it up. And then I have my wire cutters here because I don't want to pull off. I'm just going to clip very closely to the pine cones and the little pomegranates because I don't want to break them. And especially with the pomegranates, because they have that sort of styrofoamy interior. If you pull those off sometimes, you end up with the white sticking out, and I don't want that either. So I'm going to start opening our bags here. We'll start with our acorns. I have my trash can handy too. And then we'll open this up. These, of course, have twist ties on them, so that's time consuming. If you have not stopped over to the At Home with Zane store lately, please do so. We added these most adorable tea light owls. It's the autumn owl. It's in the fall collection, and he's adorable, and he's already a customer favorite. So now that we have our bags open, that's where we're going to start. And I want to pour in about half of the bag, a little bit of this bag anyway, into one of my baggies. And as you can see, that we're doing this together, so, you know, it's kind of like live TV. Whatever happens, happens here. So there's a little bit of our vanilla. And then we'll dump in. And I do think I got pretty equal parts here of that, so that's good. You know how you make that Chex Mix type thing, puppy chow or whatever it's called? Kind of like that in terms of how we're mixing this. And then I'm going to pour in some of our apple cinnamon. And we're not really looking for this, pardon the crinkling, for the scent, we're really looking for it for what's inside. And, oh yeah, there are some really nice pieces in here. Look at this little, like, I don't know, it almost looks like a little walnut, little nut there. So there's some nice pieces in these bags. Okay, so now that we have our bags filled with each of those, I'm going to set these over to the side, and I'm going to start snipping off our little pine cones here. Just get really close to the edge. No, you're not even going to see the little stem. I've cut them so close, so closely. This one has like a little weird piece on the end of it that I don't like, so goodbye to that. And then I'm just gonna set this over to the side up here because I will use that at a later date for something else. This one's got kind of a weird little edge on it too. So there's our 3 from that one, and this will be our 3 from this one. So I hope everyone's having a wonderful week. And like I said, we're doing this together because I want you to see how we're doing each step of this. I know for me, if I'm learning a new DIY, so to speak, I always kind of want to know exactly what's going on. And when people put them on silent and fast forward and all of that, you've lost me. And then our pomegranates, since these are a little bit larger, I'm probably only going to do maybe 2 in each of our mixes here. I think these are really pretty, and I actually chose this deeper color of them because they were sort of darker and richer. And then I'm going to take 3 of our little acorns out of the bag here and put those in there. So now you just want to take all of this and dump it in to each of your bags. And then, as you can probably have already guessed, we're going to shake these up because we want our mix to be nice and stirred up. We want the red mixed in with the vanilla, mixed in with the pine cones, mixed in with the acorns, mixed in with the pomegranates. And this is, in my opinion, the best way to do that is to just kind of toss it all around in a bag. So we now have our bags all nice and tossed up here, as you can see. And look, you can see the different colors. That's why I wanted one that was red, and I wanted one, or sort of the maroon, and I wanted the one that was more of the clear. And so now we're just going to add it to our jar. And again, we're doing this live, so this could actually fall all over the place, but we're going to hope it doesn't. And I can see that some of our pine cones are falling in. There's a few of our pomegranates, some of our nuts. Oh, it looks so pretty already. Just so autumn-like, which is exactly what I was going for. And so, you know what? We're just gonna fill it as full as we can get it. So there's just a tiny itty-bitty little speck left in there, as you can see, and we filled it very generously. Oh, it's absolutely beautiful. Okay, we're gonna do our next one. $6.38, you guys. And I'm telling you, for this beautiful autumn mix of everything that we have in here, the pine cones, the pomegranates, all of these things, when we're done, I'll give you a close-up video shot also. You would pay a generous amount of money if you wanted to get a nice, beautiful mix. Or you would pay a decent amount of money to buy all of these things in little individual bags. But doing it resourcefully like we did, where we cut them off of the stems, really saved us a lot of money. Oh, there's so many beautiful little nut halves in here coming from the vanilla. There's our pomegranates. Here comes some of our pine cones. I know, I'm so excited about this, because this is just beautiful. It's exactly what I had hoped for. And you can do this however you want. This is just how I am doing this. I want to make sure I get this little pomegranate in there. And you could even actually, if you wanted to, oh, we have our pomegranate here at the top. You could actually, and you know what, with a little bit of this remainder, I will, because I've got a little more room. You could actually fill the lids and do it just completely, you know, all the way up to the top. I see a few good pieces in this one. There's an acorn and a nice large white piece there. So we're going to put that all together there. We had one overboard. Okay, so look at this. Isn't this just a gorgeous, beautiful, rustic? I'm going to point out there, you see the large little pine cone here, and then you've got over here our pomegranate, and then we've got these pieces here, and just this beautiful, beautiful mix. And it's all the rustic colors that you see during autumn. You know, we've even got some of our whites and some of our creams and some of our browns and our reds. And I think that they're just absolutely beautiful. So this was a really inexpensive way to create a gorgeous autumn mix for you to use however you wish in your fall decorating, by using simple items from the Dollar Tree and being extremely resourceful. So if you have a beautiful large apothecary jar, you can create this mix and put it in that, or you can just put it in whatever you want, wherever you'd like to display it however you wish in your beautiful fall home decorating. So thank you all so much for watching. Check out my video description for links to all my social media sites, my Instagram, my Pinterest, my website. The At Home with Zane store is on there. The Facebook, my Facebook page is on there. So be sure and check all of that out. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll look for you the next time.